Hey, how's it going, everyone? So today I wanted to talk about the newly announced Korg OPSIX, I believe it's called, the Korg OPSIX. And what is cool about the Korg OPSIX? Well, it's a new FM synth by Korg. And personally, my first synth I bought was the Volca FM, so that's how I kind of introduced my world to synthesis, was via FM. And I quickly, no, not quickly, but I kind of outgrew the Volca, running into its limitations, and decided, what, I'm gonna buy a proper FM synth because I want to learn more about it, and I really like the sounds and tones I can get out of these FM machines. And at the time, the OPSIX was just announced, I think, at NAMM with no release date, and I waited a little bit to see what was more details about it, and none really came out. But what I was also looking at was the Electron Digitone, and eventually I decided to buy the Digitone just because it seemed, with its sequencer and its feature sets, and it's kind of right up my alley. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. And so last night when I'm watching YouTube and I'm seeing all these videos pop up for, the OPSIX, I'm like, oh, please don't be good. It's like, don't make me regret buying that Digitone purchase. So I came into this whole thing slanted, so I'm trying to be as impartial as possible, but just know in the back of my mind, I'm trying to justify not spending another $1,000 on another synth I don't need, especially considering I just had to redo my whole friggin' septic field and now landscaping my backyard. I don't have a lot of money to spend on toys for the next little bit. Anywho, my personal problems aside, let's get into it. So I watched two videos last night in detail. I think it was Cuckoo's video, which is kind of a more naturalistic playing around of it, and a more, I think it's LOL Pops or whatever his name is. His had a nice review up there, which is a more scientific, very straightforward review. So between watching the two of them, they did a great job because next to getting my hands on one, it kind of gave you a great feel of what the OPSIX can do, what its best features are, what some of its limitations are, and upon judging that, I've walked away with some feelings that I thought I would share. So, with the OPSIX, what is making me glad I went with the Digitone when I look at the OPSIX? I think the major one is, that you can't play multiple patches on the OPSIX at once. You switch between patches, it changes the whole sound engine of the synth. Whereas with the Digitone, you have up to 4 synthesizer tracks you can use at any time and play those sounds all at once, which is nice, right? Because with that, you can have drum sounds, you can have a lead sound, you can have a bass sound, all going at once on one synth. You don't have to layer it into a recording. You're good to go from the get go there. So it's not necessarily a make or break deal, but it's a nice deal too, especially with the Digitone when you can do your sound pool, because you're not even just stuck with 4 different sounds. With the sound pool, you can load a whole bunch of different sounds into one track and really have a whole bunch of things going on at once. But one thing you are limited on the Digitone is you only have 8 voices versus something I am very jealous of with the OPSIX is it has up to 32 voices, I believe. It's a little weird. So it sounds like there's like 32 standard voices, but you're probably going to want to use the second mode, which I think is like 23 or 28. I'd have to double check. But it reduces it down from the 32 for a bit for best quality or whatever. So I'd have to actually get my hands on it to see if it's something, if you're ever going to run that in 32, or for the most of the time you're going to be running it with 28. But hell, even if you have 28 voices, it's more than I would probably use on an FM synth, at least with my current way I use them. So you got give and take, right? So that neither of them are a clear winner. I think the other thing that bugs me, or doesn't bug me, I shouldn't say bugs me, but that I've seen, is if you look at the OPSIX, and you look at the Korg OPSIX, and you look at the Korg wave state, the key bed, the synth, the actual product, it looked like they're built upon, the same key bed and housing where all the guts go into. And I've noticed some people who've been selling their wave states, or who are commenting when they saw the OPSIX, are saying, "Oh, dang, it looks like it's built with the same, box that the wave state was built on." And they're saying, the wave state's a great synth, but you know, it feels pretty light. It feels pretty plasticky. It doesn't feel quality. So for some people, you know, it's nice when you shell out $1,000, which I believe in Canada what the OPSIX is going to come in at. But when you pay that amount of money, you don't really want to have like kind of a Casio feeling toy. You want something with a bit of weight. That's just my own aside, and there seems to be a few others, and I can't say that's my experience of it. That's just what I've seen, which makes me a little bit, you know, the Digitone's built like a tank, which is kind of nice at the same price point. I'm going to say win for Digitone there. But what I am very, very jealous on the OPSIX is, if you watch those videos, you at the top of the OPSIX, you have your 6 operators. And one thing that's frustrating, at least for me when I'm dealing with FM, is when you switch the algorithms around, I lose track of, you know, which operator is the carrier and which one is the modifier. And especially in the Digitone, it's not all at once. You have to jump through a couple of screens to modify everything. It seems like on the OPSIX, you have the 6 modifiers at the top, and a great idea to color code what your as you switch patches, your modulators will shift to a different color as your carriers, so you'll know for those 6 operators that are on the front of the OPSIX quite clearly which ones are the carriers and which ones are the modifiers, which will really help you scope or, you know, adjust your sound as you need to as you go through it. So I thought that was cool, and definitely another thing I'm a little bit jealous on, because it's not terrible on the Digitone, but there's a lot of menu driving, and it's not as overtly clear without getting used to the Digitone and remembering the algorithms, which operators do what. Whereas with the OPSIX, that visual lights coming on to show you is so much easier, at least for a dummy like me, to keep track of it all. Anyways, that was about it, and so at the end of the day, I don't think you can go wrong with either or. Like I love the Digitone, and the OPSIX looks good too. They both sound good. Probably hear some more about the OPSIX moving forward as it just came out. Maybe this will push Electron to add some more bells and whistles to their Digitone to keep it competitive with this newest release, which would be a win-win for both. And yeah, so that's just what I was feeling. I thought maybe I'll put a quick video together for you who haven't already watched 500 OPSIX videos already of people playing them. And I don't have one. I wish I did, but we'll see. I got the Digitone for now, and that's going to keep me happy. Anywho, hope that helps, and otherwise I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you. Bye.